So I was playing draft last night, and here's a couple things that were working really well for me. At one point, I had a board like this. I don't even know how I got it like this, but it was amazing. So what I would do is whenever another villain would come in, he would get a +1 and gain lifelink, right? So whenever I would swing with him, he'd be at 2 flying with lifelink, so I'd get 2. But also, this creature right here, Tigra, whenever you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter on Tigra. So then I would also get to be able to put a +1/+1 on her, right? And then this one was really good. The thing, so if you ever get enough mana to bring him out, he is a monster. Trample, and whenever one or more heroes you control deal damage to a player, that you put 2 +1/+1 counters on the thing, right? So he was a 7/7, now he's a 9/9. Okay, so that's after I would like use Tigra to attack, and then I would be able to put those counters on the thing. Claim the Kingdom was also really good. It's an enchantment plan for landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control and a plan counter on this enchantment. So whenever I play land, I'd get to up one of my creatures. Usually I would try to go for like one of my flyers, and then I put the counter on here. And then when the 4th plan counter is put on this enchantment, sacrifice it. When you do, put an indestructible counter on target creature you control. So that worked pretty well. I also was able to get World War Hulk. This is a saga. So the first saga is next red or green creature spell you cast this turn can be cast without paying its mana cost, right? So for instance, I would use that to bring out a green creature if I had one. I would never have one in hand for some reason, because it just didn't play out like that. But in this case, say we bring out Killmonger, right? Killmonger was pretty good. When he enters, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. And so when I would bring him in, usually I would have my Deathlock Soldier. He's a 1, but you can also return from the graveyard for 2 in the swamp. So then I would use him to sacrifice, right? And then when he enters, you destroy an non-land permanent for someone else. And then as long as there are 2 or more creature cards in your graveyard, he gets a +2/+1. So usually I would have, a couple creatures already in there before I would bring him out. I would at least try to, so I can get that +2/+1. And then, I would either attack or pass. And then my next one was definitely going to be lethal, because my second saga here is put 3 1/1 counters on target creature you control. So then I would, put 3 counters on whatever one I thought would definitely be able to do damage, right? So depending on what the person had, if they had ground, typically a lot of people lack flying or reach sometimes when we're drafting. So usually I like to give it to my flyer, just so I make sure that that hits, right? So then I would move this up to a 4. So now it's a 5/5 flyer, right? And then so let's see. I'm trying to think about the hit kill I would do the last time. So I believe I played another land. So then this would go up here to another counter, right? And then you put a +1/+1 counter on someone else, correct? So then I would put that counter on the thing, because why not, right? So then I'm swinging out, right? So we got 10 trample, 10/10 trample, and then a 3/2 with trample, and then we have our 5/5 flyer. And depending on whether or not we had a villain come out at that time, you get another +1. And then if you gain the life, then she'd get another +1 here. These 2 cards were working out really well together for me. And then swing with Killmonger, and depending on whoever they blocked or whatever, you got that giant growth to get a +3/+3 until end of turn. But before I was able to swing, I did super strength, and that made me unstoppable for that one game. It was pretty good. So, super strength, you enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets a +4/+4. It has trample and ward 1. Whenever enchanted creature becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter unless that player pays 1. So, imagine putting that +4/+4 on. You could put it on their flyer, you could put it on, the thing. I usually would put it on something that I know for sure was going to hit, like my flyer, right? So if we had the 4, 5, and then a 9, so you're, hitting with the 9/9 flyer, and then you have 5 here, and then, the 3 here, and then the 10 here, and then if they were trying to, kill one of your creatures or attack it, then you bring out the giant growth to get a +3/+3 until end of turn. So this worked out really well for me, and it was pretty crazy. So not bad. I got a little lucky drafting some good cards yesterday. But does it always work out like that? No. I think I had like maybe 2-3 good games like this where everything was just, working out and, synchronizing and just going really well. But other than that, I had fun though.